Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, I'm going to explain one of the biggest problems that so many young people are facing right now, this constant, kind of crushing feeling of being overwhelmed. We're going to dig into the hidden systems that are driving this feeling, what it's actually doing to our minds and our bodies, and, most importantly, what we can do to start fighting back and reclaim our focus. So let's just start with a feeling that might hit a little too close to home. It's this weird paradox, right? You're connected to absolutely everything happening in the world all at once, but you also feel completely paralyzed just watching it all from a distance. If this image here resonates with you at all, trust me, you are in very, very good company. And that's because this isn't just an individual thing, a personal case of anxiety. It's really become a shared generational experience. You take these huge global issues, a news cycle that literally never sleeps, and all these social pressures, and it all mixes together to create this baseline of just being overwhelmed. It's almost become a defining part of being young in the world today. And the data really backs this up. A recent report from UNICEF found that a staggering 6 out of every 10 young people feel overwhelmed by the news and events happening around the globe. I mean, just let that sink in. That's a huge majority. This isn't just some background noise. For so many, it's a constant heavy weight on their shoulders. And as this quote from UNICEF points out so powerfully, this feeling is anything but abstract. It has real physical consequences. It shows up in our mental well-being, our bodies, and it even starts to chip away at our sense of hope for what's to come. So this begs a really big question. What is the engine that's driving this collective feeling? To find the answer to that, we've got to pull back the curtain on this invisible system that pretty much governs our entire digital lives, the battle for our attention. It's like this constant, silent war being fought for our focus every single second of every single day that we're online. The official term for this is the attention economy. And if you think about it, it makes perfect sense. Your time, your focus, they are limited resources, which makes them incredibly valuable. And the entire design of the modern internet is built to capture as much of that resource from you as possible and turn it into profit. That's the invisible engine humming behind our screens. And as the JED Foundation points out, this leads to a pretty harsh truth. The core design of these platforms is all about engagement, whatever the cost. They're driven by things like market share and ad revenue, which means they are literally built to keep you clicking, scrolling, and watching for as long as they possibly can. Our well-being? It's just not really part of that business model. This slide here really makes those interruptions concrete, doesn't it? A study looked at creative workers and found just how broken up a typical day is. I mean, can you imagine trying to get something important done when you're getting 35 message pings and you instinctively check social media 25 times? Each one of those is like a little paper cut to your focus, and by the end of the day, they really, really add up. So, what is this constant battle for our attention actually doing to our brains? This relentless pulling and prodding from all these different directions has a very specific and scientifically documented effect on our ability to just think clearly. It leads to the state called cognitive fragmentation. Basically, every time you switch from a work document to an email notification to a quick glance at Instagram, your brain has to completely reorient itself. This isn't us being efficient multitaskers. It's actually a really draining process of task switching that just burns through our mental energy and kills any momentum we might have had. And that's because, and this is a big one, our brains just aren't built for multitasking. Research from places like Brown University has confirmed it. We are, by design, monotaskers. What we think is multitasking is really our brain just getting exhausted as it frantically switches from one thing to the next, which makes us way less efficient and a lot more likely to make mistakes. This quote just perfectly captures the central irony of our hyper-connected lives. We often feel incredibly busy, right? Like we're juggling a dozen things at once. But this digital performance paradox shows that the feeling of being constantly active often hides the reality of being deeply unproductive on the things that actually matter. The author Cal Newport has a really powerful way of looking at this. He talks about deep work versus shallow work. Deep work is that focused, distraction-free concentration where we solve tough problems and create real value. And shallow work? Well, that's pretty much all the stuff that fills our fragmented days. Answering emails, checking notifications, all the little tasks that feel productive but don't really move the needle on our biggest goals. And, this mental strain doesn't just stay in our heads. This constant state of being on has some serious, measurable physical consequences that a lot of us experience every single day, whether we realize what's causing it or not. It often starts with our eyes. If you've ever finished a long day and your eyes just feel tired, dry, and achy, you're likely experiencing a recognized medical condition. It's called computer vision syndrome, or more simply, digital eye strain. It's basically a catch-all term for a bunch of issues caused by looking at screens for too long. And the symptoms are probably going to sound super familiar. It's not just the obvious eye strain, but things like frequent headaches, moments where your vision gets blurry, and even that persistent pain in your neck and shoulders from hunching over a screen. These aren't just small annoyances. They can seriously impact your quality of life and your ability to focus. So what gives? Why is this happening? I mean, you can read a physical book for hours and be totally fine, but an hour staring at your phone can leave you feeling completely drained. Well, it comes down to a few key ways our bodies biologically respond to digital screens. Okay, here's a big reason: our blink rate. When we're really concentrating on a backlit screen, our natural blink rate can drop by up to 50%. Blinking is just our body's way of keeping our eyes moist and clean, so when we start doing it half as often, it leads directly to that dry, burning, irritated feeling of digital eye strain. But here's the good news. There's a super simple, scientifically backed technique that can make a huge difference. It's called the 20-20-20 rule. The idea is that for every 20 minutes you're looking at a screen, you take a deliberate 20-second break to look at something about 20 feet away. This simple little action lets the tiny focusing muscles in your eyes relax, and that can dramatically reduce the strain. And you can probably see how it all starts to connect. It's like a chain reaction. This intense mental fragmentation, combined with the physical toll, feeds directly into the wider mental health challenges that so many young people are facing. That constant state of alert from notifications, the physical discomfort, it all contributes to a higher baseline of anxiety, sadness, and chronic stress. So, after all that, it's easy to feel kind of powerless, right? Like, we're just caught in this massive system. But we're not. So the real question becomes, how can we actually start pushing back? How can we begin to reclaim our focus, our time, and our well-being? Okay, let's be really clear about this. The goal here is not to become a Luddite, smash your phone, and go live in a cabin somewhere. For most of us, that's just not realistic or even what we want. The real goal is to shift from being a mindless, habitual user to a conscious, intentional one, where the technology is serving our goals and not the other way around. And you can start creating that mental breathing room, like right now, with a few simple changes. Turning off notifications that aren't essential isn't just about being less annoyed. It's about breaking that cycle of distraction. Scheduling your social media time puts you in control instead of letting the apps control you. Every one of these small choices is an act of reclaiming your focus. All of these ideas are part of a bigger philosophy, also from Cal Newport, called digital minimalism. And it's not about depriving yourself. It's about being incredibly selective. You intentionally choose which digital tools you allow into your life based on one very simple question. Does this tool actually support something I deeply value? I absolutely love this quote because it just flips the whole script. You don't start with the shiny new app and then try to cram it into your life. You start with your life itself. What do you value? Strong friendships? Learning a new skill? Then, and only then, do you ask, okay, what's the best tool to help me do that? It puts your values right back in the driver's seat. So ultimately, it all comes down to this really fundamental shift in your mindset. It's about moving from being a passive consumer, just mindlessly reacting to pings and algorithms, to becoming an active architect of your own digital life, where you use these powerful tools with a clear purpose and intention. This really is the fundamental question to ask yourself. And I mean, really ask it. Take a moment and think about the apps on your phone, the websites you visit every day, the notifications you allow. Are they making your life bigger, richer, and more aligned with who you want to be? Or are they making it smaller, more distracted, and more anxious? You know, we spend so much time charging our devices, cleaning their screens, updating their software, but our minds are infinitely more valuable. Thank you so much for your time and for watching this whole video. I really hope this explainer helps you feel empowered to give your mind the care it truly, truly deserves. So, what do you think about all this? Does that feeling of being overwhelmed resonate with you? Please comment down below with your opinions. I would genuinely love to hear about any experiences you've had with these kinds of challenges in your own life. Also, please let me know in the comments what topic you think I should talk about next. I'm always looking for new ideas for these explainers, and your suggestions are honestly so helpful.
And finally, if you found this helpful, please subscribe to my channel for more videos just like this, and be sure to click that bell notification icon so you get notified when I upload my next video. Have a great day. Bye!